Antacids are a billion-dollar industry built on our inability to properly digest our food. Yet the ancient world had already worked out a far simpler solution for post-meal bloating, centuries before the first chalky tablet was ever manufactured. Instead of reaching for synthetic relief, ancient populations paired their heavy meals with specific bitter aromatics that gastroenterologists now confirm measurably stimulate necessary digestive enzymes. The science behind these ancient food pairings holds up consistently across separate civilizations. Today, we reveal 5 of these ancient spices that support real digestive comfort. Stick around, because the final spice on this list was buried with an Egyptian king for the afterlife, and researchers confirm it measurably soothes gastric inflammation and protects the delicate lining of the stomach. Item 5. Cumin. In the 28th chapter of Isaiah, the prophet uses incredibly specific agricultural imagery to explain how God works with his people. He describes the careful harvesting of ancient crops and notes that cumin is not threshed with a heavy cartwheel, but is gently beaten out with a rod. That delicate harvesting process protected a fragile earthy seed that ancient populations relied on whenever they consumed rich and heavy meats. Cumin acts as a biological catalyst for your digestive system because of a potent botanical compound called cuminaldehyde. Cuminaldehyde naturally prompts your pancreas to release the exact biological catalysts needed to comfortably break down heavy proteins and dense dietary fats. It signals your body to actively digest the food rather than letting it sit heavily in your stomach. Researchers demonstrated that cumin extract significantly stimulated the secretion of pancreatic enzymes and measurably improved digestive efficiency. The Indian Journal of Medical Research published that finding in 2004. The ancient world knew exactly how to prime the physical body for a heavy meal. You can harness this by lightly toasting a teaspoon of cumin seeds in a dry pan and sprinkling them over roasted meats or thick stews. We rely on chemical tablets when a simple seed gently beaten out with a rod was designed to do the job naturally. Cumin prepared the body to break down a heavy meal before it even arrived. The herb that comes next worked differently. It calmed the stomach after the meal was already sitting there, and ironically, it grew in the gardens of the very people Jesus accused of missing the point. Item 4. Mint. The religious leaders of the 1st century were famously obsessed with the exact details of the law. In the 11th chapter of Luke, Jesus points out that the Pharisees meticulously tithed 1/10 of their garden herbs, including mint, while completely neglecting justice and the love of God. While their spiritual priorities were entirely backwards, their gardens were actually filled with world-class digestive medicine. Mint is a resilient herb containing a highly active botanical compound called menthol. Menthol has been studied for its ability to measurably relax the smooth muscles of the digestive tract. It physically eases the tense and uncomfortable spasms that often follow a rich and heavy meal. It essentially acts as a gentle biological tranquilizer for an overworked stomach. Clinical researchers found that mint extract significantly reduced abdominal cramping and measurably supported comfortable digestion after eating. The Journal of Gastroenterology published that result in 2014. A common garden weed tithed by ancient religious leaders contains the exact molecular structure needed to ease an upset stomach. You can access this relief by steeping a handful of fresh mint leaves in hot water for 5 minutes after a heavy dinner. The pharmaceutical industry sells billions of dollars in digestive aids, while the actual solution grows like a weed in almost every climate on Earth. A common garden herb mentioned in the Gospel of Luke contains the exact biological compound studied for easing digestive spasms. We are told to reach for pharmacy antacids the moment we feel uncomfortable instead of looking to ancient biblical provision. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. The spice coming up next actively relieves the uncomfortable buildup of trapped gas. Item 3. Dill. In the Gospel of Matthew, we see another glimpse into the meticulously kept herb gardens of the ancient world. Jesus mentions dill right alongside mint and cumin as one of the delicate spices the religious elite carefully measured out for their offerings. This feathery green spice was prized across the ancient Mediterranean not just for its bright flavor, but for its ability to calm a turbulent gut. Dill acts as a natural carminative. That means it actively helps reduce the uncomfortable buildup of trapped gas and bloating that occurs when food ferments in your digestive tract. The biological power behind this relief is a botanical compound called carvone. Carvone helps break up the gas bubbles trapped in your intestines and encourages them to safely exit the body. A clinical study demonstrated that dill extract measurably reduced gastric discomfort and supported healthy digestive function. The Journal of Ethnopharmacology published that discovery in 2005. Ancient cooks heavily incorporated this delicate plant into their richest banquets for a profound biological reason. You can easily support your own digestion by tossing fresh chopped dill over roasted potatoes or heavy fish dishes right before serving. The specific herbs Jesus mentioned 2,000 years ago are the exact botanical tools human biology requires to process food comfortably. Dill broke up the gas trapped after a heavy banquet. The bark that comes next did not grow in a garden at all. It was worn by kings, perfumed into the very robes they used to announce their authority. Item 2. Cassia. The ancient world valued warm and aromatic barks as treasures fit for absolute royalty. The 45th Psalm describes a majestic king whose royal garments are deeply fragranced with myrrh and aloes and cassia. Cassia is the ancient and thicker variety of what we now call cinnamon. While it was used to perfume the robes of ancient monarchs, it was also consumed as a powerful botanical medicine to support the physical body after lavish royal feasts. This warm bark is heavily loaded with an active compound called cinnamaldehyde. Cinnamaldehyde has been studied for its role in supporting deep digestive comfort after heavy meals. It helps ensure that dense foods move smoothly and efficiently through your digestive tract rather than sitting heavily in your stomach like a rock. Researchers found that consuming cinnamon extract measurably improved digestive comfort and supported the natural digestive process after eating. The journal Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine published that finding in 2015. Ancient kings were not just making their garments smell pleasant, they were carrying world-class digestive support with them wherever they went. You can boil a stick of true Ceylon cinnamon in water for 10 minutes to create a warm and comforting digestive tea. The ancient world prized this bark above gold because they understood its profound effect on human vitality. Cassia perfumed the outside of a living king. The seed that closes this list was packed beside a king who no longer needed anything at all. Every object placed in that burial chamber had a specific purpose, and this one was small enough to disappear inside a closed fist. Item 1. Black cumin. When archaeologists finally broke the seal on the burial chamber of the Egyptian king Tutankhamun, they discovered enormous amounts of gold and precious artifacts. But resting quietly among the priceless treasures designed to guarantee health and vitality in the afterlife was a collection of tiny, dark seeds. We know this highly prized ancient seed today as black cumin. Black cumin contains a specialized botanical compound called thymoquinone. Thymoquinone measurably soothes gastric distress and has been studied for its ability to support the delicate mucosal lining of your stomach. Your stomach lining takes a significant amount of oxidative stress and wear and tear when processing rich and heavy foods. Thymoquinone steps in to shield that delicate tissue from irritation. Clinical trials demonstrated that thymoquinone significantly protected gastric tissue and measurably supported the healing of the stomach lining under dietary stress. The World Journal of Gastroenterology published that finding in 2016. The most powerful rulers of the ancient world demanded this seed for their eternal journey for a very physical reason. You can easily purchase pure, cold-pressed black seed oil and take half a teaspoon before a particularly heavy or rich meal. The absolute peak of ancient royalty relied on a tiny black seed to keep their internal systems protected and strong. 4 spices grown in the gardens and fields of ancient Israel. 1 seed buried 3,000 miles away in a king's tomb on the banks of the Nile. Neither civilization knew what the other was doing, yet both arrived at the same conclusion. Certain seeds and barks did something measurable to a body struggling under the weight of a heavy meal. Please remember that these are spices and seeds with thousands of years of documented use and peer-reviewed research behind them. They are not medical prescriptions, but the biological tools required to break down food and protect the stomach were never actually missing. They were simply growing in fields and resting in tombs, waiting to be understood. Which of these ancient spices surprised you the most today? Have you ever tried using fresh mint or cinnamon tea to settle your stomach after a heavy meal? Let me know down in the comments, because I read every single one of them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep uncovering this lost wisdom. Click the video on your screen right now to discover the specific ancient tree barks designed to support healthy gums.